Don't tell me you ain't do it and then write a book after you get off talking about I ain't do it, but if I did do it,
It
here's how
wasn't
I would.
me.
Hell,
Oh, I'm sorry. We're live.
oh,
Oh boy, I hope they didn't hear that.
hello,
What's going on,
America?
folks?
As we discuss OJ the Juice Man.
This is so sad, but there used to be a T-shirt that women were wearing in Tampa back in the early '90s that said, "White girls drink milk because OJ will kill you."
Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna end
We
this
have
with
this-
if the glove don't fit, you must quit. All right. We all know he's guilty of stealing his own stuff anyway. So we have a great show lined up for you.
Oh
We have a
Jesus.
great show lined up for you guys.
No,
I'm Jay
no.
Cee.
I'm JPeeps. Why are y'all like this? Oh my gosh.
And we got a whole bunch of things lined up for you. We got the HBCU football lineup coming up. We got Zach Wilson, the overreaction on my dark horse. Now everybody wants to love, right? We got NCAA. All right. A whole bunch of other things going on here. So if you like that first conversation, stick around because it's gonna get way worse than that.
We need you.
Hey, what's going on, guys? This is JP.
This is the Bull.
This is Jay Cee.
This is Flash.
This is Denny Hendricks,
And you are listening to
and you are listening to
And you're listening to
And you're listening to the Run and Gun Podcast.
Oh boy.
all right.
Oh, this is gonna be good. So, without further ado, let's jump right into it. So, as far as things unfolding in the HBCU world, first thing up on the ledger, and folks, feel free to comment as we go tonight. We'd love your intake. We love your opinions. Leave a comment below. So, a couple things happened in Tallahassee. FAMU's debating whether to have fans present for the Orange and Green game, which is their spring game. They also completed a sweep of A&T. And I don't know if both the producer and my partner on my left saw it, but
It's your right,
we saw. Oh, well, my right.
and he's a
Oh, no, he was
chiropractor.
left.
Okay.
Wow. I mean, from my view, it was
Hey,
left.
don't touch me.
But I don't know if y'all saw it or not. Probably the greatest comeback in college baseball history took place last night in Tallahassee. FAMU overcomes a 9-run deficit, rallies back and wins 15-14 over Alabama State.
9 runs?
9 runs. Four or five batters were walked. I
Now,
believe
hold
in
on.
the fifth inning.
I want you to know that no matter what the outcome, everybody in that game running. Everybody. If you sat your behind on the bench, you run it. Get on the line. Where my whistle?
It was.
Where,
I couldn't
You lucky I can't
believe
find
it
my
when I
whistle.
saw it. And then you want to know what made it worse? Like they only
Worse than
needed
that?
one out. Alabama State only needed one out to win, and bases were loaded, and they walked the last batter. All I had to do was just touch first
I
base.
thought
And
it
it was
was-
over.
NCA&T.
Well, they completed a sweep of them, but following that, Alabama State came to town, and that 9-point deficit was erased.
Wait, that was wow.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a
Now, mind you, the previous, I think, largest deficit that was overcome was 8 runs by Texas A&M over West Virginia. This outdid that by
everybody
1.
running. You running because why was we down 9 points?
You still be.
9 runs.
I don't care if that game was last night. You still be running right now.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Boy,
bro.
you running. and then the other team running too. Because how the hell you give up a lead at 9 runs?
Man,
Ooh, excuse me. I can't be a coach.
I think the largest is like 10 runs in Major League Baseball.
no, it's larger than
American-
that.
Oh,
I'll find it for you, but go ahead.
yeah. See, that's insane. But the other thing too that we got is the SWAC schedule. Unfortunately, that Alabama A&M Prairie View game was canceled due to COVID protocols. But we still got 3 other ones. We got South Carolina State and Alabama State. That's going to be a murder. Alabama State's going to win. You got Pine Bluff and Mississippi Valley. That's going to be a blowout. And then you got Southern and Jackson State.
Hold on. How you just gonna proclaim a murder?
Hey, did he get his hair? Did he get his hair dyed?
No, that's just the lighting. It's just the lighting. Are we really?
Listen, you can't proclaim a murder just because. Who did they play last time? Alabama A&M, right? No.
Alabama State played Jackson State.
Not last week. The week before.
Ooh, Mississippi Valley, they played Jackson State and got like destroyed.
Not Jackson State. I'm talking about South Carolina State.
Oh yeah, they played Alabama A&M and got like blasted, like 31-7.
Just because Alabama A&M decided to show out right against a weaker MEAC is dying school.
Wow.
He's got a point though.
Wow.
He's got a point.
Doesn't mean necessarily that every game they're going to play against the SWAC is going to be a blowout. But I will say that MEAC is dying. But I'm interested to see Southern try and bounce back against Jackson State.
I am interested to see that. I'm interested to see how Southern's going to match up with Jackson State. Hopefully they put a better effort forward than what we saw them put forward when they played against Arkansas Pine Bluff. If they show up like they did against Pine Bluff, there's no way they beat Jackson State. No way.
So what's this Jackson State?
What's this SWAC title thing?
So with that, as it stands right now, with I believe 2 or 3 weeks left to play for this SWAC spring season, if the season were to end today, it would be Jackson State against Pine Bluff, which is hard to believe. I know you don't get that every day, but that's the way it is right now.
How many black schools were in Arkansas?
I think it's just Pine Bluff.
Oh, okay. Isn't Central Arkansas as what? No.
No.
Okay, so all the black schools really are in Mississippi and Alabama, like for the majority of them.
Yes, and Georgia. Georgia's got quite a bit.
Okay. Florida's got 2.
Florida's got 4.
Who's the 4?
You got Edward Waters.
Oh wow, they're in Florida.
Yeah, they're up in like Jacksonville, and then you've got Florida Memorial.
Okay.
FAMU, as they're called.
I forgot they were a black school.
Yeah, I know. I forgot they existed.
Yeah.
I remember hearing something about them in the early 2000s, but then they just like disappeared for a while. And then, like I think like what 2 or 3 years ago they came back.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Sorry, guys.
You're good.
No,
you're good.
You're good. I didn't want to talk about this SWAC title anyway because it's all nonsense.
It's just a bunch of SWAC.
A bunch of SWAC. But I will say though, I want to see how this goes. I think for the first time in a while, I don't think the Bayou Classic's gonna really mean anything for the SWAC title for one. Just because
it doesn't mean anything right now. It's literally just bragging rights for a couple months until the actual season starts.
That's true. And I think we know who's going to win that game because it sure enough ain't going to be Grambling.
I mean, listen, if you don't see these spring games as nothing more than full contact scrimmages,
Yeah.
I think you're doing it wrong because it doesn't really mean anything. What do you necessarily gain from these?
That's true. I mean, you get a look from a couple players to see if like you can rely on them when the fall rolls around. I think you can.
Well, obviously, that's why I say full contact scrimmages.
But in the fall,
Oh, I'm ready for the fall.
The hardest thing we're fighting for right now is a SWAC title with an asterisk on it.
Yes. So I agree with you.
I'm sick of acting like it's not. I'm sick.
I'm ready to see. I'm ready to just see what's going to happen when Alabama State and Jackson State play again.
Watch me.
Well, you know, my man, the Tiger King. Please tell me we have that. Please tell me.
I know he still has it.
Mr. Morgan Freeman, disembodied voice. Tell me we have that. Please.
I know he got it. He got it. I know. Watch, it's gonna pop up when you least expect it. But
all right. Well, it's gonna be interesting, right? Like I said, season doesn't really matter like the spring thing. We're still waiting to see what's going on, right? What's gonna happen later on with fall. Fall is the important part. You really just want to survive spring. That's pretty much it. You want to be able to get playing time for your younger guys, your dudes who wouldn't necessarily play. You want to see what you got going on, right? Because everybody got an extra year of eligibility. So, might as well find out what you got going on. You shouldn't necessarily be taking these per se at face value, but they should have some measure of meaning to them, but not enough meaning to be like, oh yeah, SWAC title, yeah, we won from a COVID year. It just doesn't necessarily mean anything to me in a shortened season.
I feel you. But that's gonna bring us now to the NFL. So with that, you have
7 seconds.
Oh, you still got. Oh, well, turn it up.
I'm hoping for Tiger King last second. No, okay, all right.
But onto the NFL.
I didn't have it labeled, so I can't find it.
All
right.
So
just
I
bring
don't
it
know
up
if y'all
whenever you're
saw this whole ordeal with Zach Wilson and this throw.
I got it.
No, go ahead, because I got something to say too.
I got it, because I need to look dead in this camera, and you know what? Somebody tag her when this is all done with. Tag Allison, because now everybody wants to hop on my dark horse, huh, Allison? Look, everybody wants to ride the.
Why?
Oh, that's great. That's solid. Everybody wants to ride my dark horse, right? Everybody wants to ride Zach Wilson.
If you want to ride the dog horse.
Lord have mercy.
Dog horse.
We need that for the draft.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, no,
everybody wants to ride my dark horse now. No, I'm still talking. Everybody wants to ride my dark horse now. Look, I fought so hard for Zach Wilson, right? I fought so hard. Everybody talking about Trevor Lawrence ain't doing none of this stuff. I don't see Trevor Lawrence. What he doing? His pro day was. Did it happen? Did he have a pro day yet?
They had it early just so that way Urban Meyer could get in there and get a look at him before he went to go have surgery on his non-throwing arm.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It was mediocre then because nobody was talking about it, but everybody want to talk about Zach Wilson with his effortless throw, right? Yeah. Get off my guy.
I will say, I went back and looked at like two other quarterbacks that made that same throw. So Drew Lock made that same throw when he was coming out.
Yeah.
And then you had Kellen Mond at his pro day here recently make that same exact throw too. only difference was he planted his feet. And our buddy Jacquez Green even clarified too. He's like that's just the pro day throw.
Yeah, I believe Drew Lock threw his further though. If you want to get technical with it, I think Drew Lock was like 80 yards.
Probably did.
Yeah,
probably did.
Very large arm on that cat. But
now,
I mean, it's very interesting. But if I'm him, I'm hoping that it doesn't get super blown out of proportion, and then you end up on a team like the Jets.
I could see. I'm not gonna lie. I could see Zach Wilson ending up in Denver.
If he ends up in Denver, that works for him. Denver's not necessarily a bad team. They just caused some bad strokes. That COVID thing had them messed up for a solid 2 weeks. They had no quarterbacks. I mean, Denver's not necessarily as bad as a team as we saw last year. They just had some really bad strokes. They're one of the youngest teams in the NFL currently. And thinking about getting younger with releasing for cap space there, I can't think of his name. Von Miller.
Oh yeah, yep.
Right, what the thinkings about that going on? I mean, they're not necessarily a bad team. It's just certain circumstances are working through for them. But they could have had a quarterback. They would have kept Tim Tebow.
Now, something else that happened too, and it happened today actually. Two things. First thing is Bucks part owner Joel Glazer came out and said they are doing everything they can with the league as far as bringing back the creamsicles like everybody wants. But the NFL with this whole helmet thing, where you can only wear one helmet, they're kind of fighting it. And then the other thing, Roger Goodell is saying, we're planning to have fans at full capacity for the fall. Now, I know how some people may feel, and I get that. But at this point now, given where we're going, hopefully we're in a better spot in the fall. I'm feeling the way I felt when both the MEAC and the SWAC just axed the fall season for 2020. Like, if they're going to play, let them play. And this is before I had a knowledge of what was going on. If you don't feel comfortable with it, stay home. That's my approach to it at this point now, given where we're going. If you don't feel comfortable, stay home.
Can I interject something here?
Go ahead.
I understand that theory. Hey, if we open it up, you don't have to go. But if the guy who sits next to me at work, even though we're 6 feet apart, decides to take his 10 kids to the game and sit amongst a COVID spreader event and brings it back to work, then that does affect me.
Now that's true too.
Or if the guy in the grocery store who just happens to sneeze as I'm walking by because he was at the game, now he has COVID, guess who's taking it home to their family?
Absolutely.
That's true too. Now, the other thing the NFL said was people that did in fact get vaccinated, it doesn't have to be the whole team. It could just be specific individuals. They don't necessarily have to receive consistent testing because they had already been vaccinated. So if you get your 2 shots, or if you do the Johnson & Johnson one where you just need the 1 shot, you don't have to do all the consistent testing and everything. You're good to go. But for those that have not, you're going to have to continuously do these protocols and everything like that. So I guess this is kind of like a push to get everybody to get vaccinated. But they understand too, not everybody trusted.
It's a gentle nudge, yeah. I mean, I don't understand what I haven't been tested, so I don't know if it's like super weird to get tested or not. But
they're not going to track your STDs.
I guess the.
Oh my gosh. Why?
I guess the worst thing that could happen is they bring COVID sniffing dogs. Sheesh.
Miami Heat. Hashtag Miami
Just
Heat.
gonna throw me under the bus. Bump.
Me.
I'll throw the Heat under the bus with me too. Damn. Oh. Wow.
Carry on.
Wow.
That came out way out of left field. I wasn't expecting that.
Wow. As I'm getting ready to throw somebody under the bus, he throw me under the bus. What the hell type of stuff is this?
Oh my god.
No,
But
man. Listen, it's cool. Whatever. I'll take being hit by a sunflower truck because it was leaving your place anyway.
Okay.
Yes, Lord. No, that messy.
Oh,
That's how we gonna do
oh
it.
Lord. Woo.
Lord have mercy.
The other thing that happened was the NFL. Why is the challenge flag over me? Oh.
Ain't no damn way. Ain't no damn way. You not gonna do me like this. Nah.
Go ahead, JPeeps. I just had to mute him for a while.
Okay. The other thing that happened too was the NFL did begin their 17. They decided they're going to have the 17 games. So now they've cut the preseason down to 3 games. I was expecting it to go down to 2, but it's been cut down to 3. You're gonna have 17 games. So you have games such as the Patriots are gonna be playing the Cowboys for that 17th game. Bucks are playing the Colts and such. So it's gonna be pretty interesting. I like this. I was wondering how y'all feel about it. Does he have a kazoo?
Yeah, he didn't know that he was unmuted.
Yeah.
How we feeling about this 17 game schedule with 3 preseason games?
He was acting childish. He wasn't paying attention.
Well,
See?
I did hear him, but I had to let y'all know my work call went out. This is also my get on the line whistle.
Wow.
Nah, but I think that it's kind of another controversial thing that the NFL's doing. I mean, the players. 2-minute warning. The players did vote for this, right? But you still have certain players that are talking about this is stupid. This is the worst thing that could possibly happen, right? So it shows a lot of duality in the whole situation. But I think when you see what's happening, right? I believe that the 17th game, if you played for 16, you don't have to play in the 17th game, and certain stuff like that, right? So I guess it works out better for people later on behind the bench who want to play or stuff.
Unless you're fighting for a playoff spot.
Unless you're fighting for a playoff spot, which then it becomes extremely important. But I haven't taken a look at it recently. I haven't seen what they actually ratified and put in place. But I know there were talks that you would only have to play 16 games. So where does it line up? Do you sit everybody week 1 and then week 2 on everybody plays like you're on there? Or what happens with that?
I wonder how would this have impacted a team like, say, the Miami Dolphins, who missed the playoffs last year, who could have made it. They won 10 games.
They still would have had to win one more.
Yeah.
And hope the teams that made it lost one. So.
Yeah.
True.
I mean, if you want to talk about that, then you need to talk about opening up the playoffs even more than it is right now, which would be a total mess, to say the least. I mean, we don't want to make it into like the NBA where everybody makes it.
That was kind of cold. That was
That was
funny.
But we on to the
last word.
NCAA now. Something interesting happened last night.
Listen, if you're there and you're watching and you want something or you got something to say, make sure you put it in the comments. Tell us while we're here.
Yeah.
We can listen to it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jay Cee. Thank you.
But the Michigan, Juwan Howard and his boys, they got knocked out by UCLA.
Da 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 da.
Yeah, no, they can't seem to ever close the deal.
Come in.
Jay,
Still can't win in football.
they can't. They can't. You know what? I'm glad you said that because this exactly reminds me of. I'm gonna break a few people's hearts when I say this. It reminds me of, I believe it was 2016, where they needed to beat Ohio State to get to the Big Ten championship and have a chance for the playoff, and then they couldn't do it. Some people say they got robbed. Some people say they just couldn't close the deal.
Lord have mercy.
They have a chance to go to the Final Four. They can't close the deal. And there was all this talk about how big Michigan was, how, oh my goodness, how are certain teams going to match up with their guys because everybody's tall, everybody's physical, all of them can shoot, all of them can rebound, all of them can play in the paint. Someone outperformed them. It happened.
You know what? I will say that the UCLA winning thing kind of messed up my Final Four. And I'm not happy about that. I'm not happy about that.
I was pulling for Michigan in that.
I was pulling for Michigan too.
But you can't go 3 of 17, your 2 best shooters, and they continue to shoot the ball in the last minute. You need to find somebody with a hot hand. And when he came up the court and went for 3 with 6 seconds to go, he should have actually gone for 2 to tie the game. But he didn't want to step inside the 3-point line. He was trying to win it.
It's true. And then go ahead.
He's right. There's nothing to say other than, in other news, Gonzaga's just beating the crap out of people like always.
Oh my goodness, it's ugly.
I'm looking forward to seeing that.
It's UNLV from 90.
You know what? That's what a lot of people have been saying.
Oh, you got to go back and look at that.
A lot of people have been saying, is there any team from this tournament right now could Gonzaga beat that team?
No.
Yeah, some people say no.
Well, I say no, but Duke beat them. Some people say the referees gave it to Duke, but they beat them in 91 when they went undefeated and they were running through the tournament, running roughshod, and they got to the Final Four. Duke beat them there, and that's what Duke got their first title. But that team was just Stacey Augmon, Larry Johnson. I mean, it was just it was like grown men playing kids, especially when Larry Johnson yells at Nolan Richardson after they beat Arkansas in Arkansas. You better go get you some grown men if you think you're going to beat us in the middle of the game. I'm sorry. Y'all took me back down memory lane.
No, you're good because I'm
right there, man.
Someone brought up a point by saying, could the 2006 Florida basketball team beat those guys? Because they were like, Joakim Noah would have had a field day. I was like, nah.
What? Huh?
Yeah, no. Someone said this. Trust me, it's on Twitter.
With a straight face?
Someone said this on Twitter. Jacquez Green.
Oh, Twitter. Twitter.
He clipped them real quick.
Oh, they must be playing.
They need to look at that amoeba defense. Everybody talks about 40 minutes of hell with Nolan Richardson. Phenomenal defense. But look at the amoeba defense that Jerry Tarkanian instituted in UNLV. And then you tell me if Joakim Noah, Al Horford, and Humphreys could have beaten those guys.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I don't think so either.
They were phenomenal.
Working knowledge, nah.
They were phenomenal, bro. I'm telling you, they were the best team not to win the title. That 91 team, because the 90 team, same team, ran roughshod in the NCAAs. Roughshod.
And then the other thing too is you got the women's Final Four getting ready to take place. So you got South Carolina, number 1 seed South Carolina against number 1 seed Stanford.
Yes.
And then you got Arizona against number 1 seed UConn. I liked it.
Did you say Stanford?
Mm-hmm.
So I got a text from somebody about Stanford last night. Was it last night?
Stanford pulled it out?
Stanford came back. They didn't just pull it out. They put a statement on the game.
They pulled it out and stomped them?
Yeah.
Man,
They-
when I was in that bar, they was getting beat up.
Yeah.
I did not like it.
Look at. I'm gonna read these numbers off. So Stanford outscored Louisville 22-12 in the third quarter,
Yeah.
and then 30-13 in the fourth quarter.
Yes, sir.
To win 70-63.
Sheesh.
And it wasn't as
And then
close as the score says.
Mm-hmm.
Sheesh.
And then even still in the other game that was sent South Carolina to the Final Four, Texas didn't even score a basket in the fourth quarter. 62-34 South Carolina.
Speaking of that, how did UCLA men's win and their bench didn't score a point the whole game?
Huh?
Yeah. Their bench didn't score 1 point.
I can't wait till they play Gonzaga. But then again, I was thinking to myself, I can't wait till they play Michigan either. So I don't know.
Can we hop off my people at Michigan, yo? Man, Juwan don't deserve this.
Jawan don't deserve it. You right. Jawan don't deserve it. We need to be giving Jim Harbaugh a hard time.
He don't deserve
Harbaugh wouldn't have made it this far. So, I mean,
Bingo.
Harbaugh would have lost outside the tournament.
yes.
Because Ohio State didn't
Yes.
make it in the tournament.
Defense.
Nah.
We don't need to play no defense.
Oh my gosh.
Just have our cornerbacks hold the whole time. Just hold. Listen,
Stop.
I salute Juwan Howard. It's hard to make it to that Elite Eight. It is.
Yeah.
So, you know, only 4 teams in the country went to the Final Four. Only 4. Only 8 of you guys out of all these teams made it to the Elite Eight. So when people talk trash, say, where were you when this game was on? In the stands, on the court, or on your couch?
That's true.
Exactly.
So I mean, what? Don't you?
There was
you
a
get
whole bunch of
you
people
get it.
talking about him, saying that he didn't have enough experience and blah, blah, blah. He wasn't going to be good, right? I mean,
that-
obviously he proved.
See that my thing with that is I'm like, look, you have to look at his pedigree of who he was underneath for a while. He was with Eric Spoelstra and Pat Riley. He had no choice but to be great as a coach.
Yeah,
no
but college is different, right?
It is, but even still, like, and then he's a former Michigan alum. Like, he was gonna go back and do a better job than Harbaugh.
Well,
And
being an alum doesn't do anything for you coaching wise.
depends what your approach is. I
Oh.
would your
Can I
approach
get a
is.
ruling? Excuse me?
Because there's some
Can I
guys
get a-
that go back. There's some
Ref,
guys
where's
that go
the
back.
booth? Do I need to challenge this? Like, can I get
Okay.
a replay? Something?
Okay. 2 schools of thought, but you're right. Being an alum does not make you a great coach at all. That has nothing to do with how well you will do as a coach. If you are a great coach, being an alum may give you some extra passion. But
I'm okay
as
with
far as making you a great coach, I can take you down a list of coaches who came back. Again, Jim Harbaugh. Since you want to go to Harbaugh, he's an alum.
But
Didn't
what were
really
his
help him.
inten-
He's an alum who can't even beat the rival.
Right.
Damn.
Didn't
Exactly.
help him.
And but see, I say intentions because I look at the approach of both those men. Jawan Howard was, let's get to work, let's do this. With Harbaugh, it's okay. Let's take the kids to Rome and make recruiting videos.
That's not fair. That's not fair because those guys put time into practice just like every other team.
Yeah.
If you don't like where he took them, then that's fine. But you can't write off the fact that they didn't show up to play because they went to Rome. I mean, they just had a bad couple of seasons, but they practice just as hard as anybody else. If you don't believe me, go watch them.
Yeah.
That's true.
Absolutely. I just don't think they're as talented as they've been.
Correct, and they're not put in the right positions to win.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say that.
It's like-
I'll agree with that.
It's like Florida this year, right? Their defense, absolutely terrible. Now Florida has a lot of talent on defense, but a lot of those dudes are playing out of position.
Hot
I mean,
topics.
that's usually what's gonna happen. You
Yeah,
can
we in
start
the
off.
hot
Let's
topics
go
now.
with yours. Let's go with yours. Oh,
so
also,
mine.
make sure you comment on these because it's hopefully going to be really interesting.
Yeah. So
maybe we'll get a
my hot
rant or
topic
two.
for tonight is, simply put, Mark Emmert earlier today on the Paul Feinbaum show went on there and basically, or actually it was a past recording, went on there and apologized for saying that, you know, both sides, the men and the women's tournament, were not equally distributed the proper treatment. My thing, and he said that we're going to ensure this doesn't happen again. My thing is, it shouldn't have happened the first time. That's my thing. Why did it happen the first time? You shouldn't have to wait until everybody's complaining and saying stuff and shaming you for you to have to step up your game. And then when you stepped up the game, it still wasn't good enough. Go ahead,
Throw
JT.
one little caveat to help you out real quick.
Go ahead.
He's not sorry that it happened. He's sorry they got caught doing it.
Ding, 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 ding.
Continue. You can continue now. I just wanted to throw that to you.
Oh, no. I'm done now. That's all I wanted to say. I mean, look, sorry, yeah, you got caught because you weren't doing enough. You've been catering to the men for everything. I'm curious to see how they're handling the softball World Series. I'm really curious about this.
Oh, well, you know, they have to go over the top now.
Yeah, they're going to have to.
They have to. Because it despite the appetite, the social appetite of social media and stuff like that, and how it flutters and fades with support for things, right? Now more people, more than before, are taking a closer look at how the NCAA is going to be able to handle the difference between men's sports and women's sports. I mean, they have to go kind of over the top with both sides because you can't just have the women's side be super great and then the dude side suck, or else you're gonna run into a whole nother mess of other issues. But you know they have to pick it up.
Yeah. Oh yeah, most definitely. Now I want to hear this thing with your side. I'm curious with this.
Excuse me. Let me get my serious face on. Thank you. Can I get a knock at the door, please? No knock. Oh yeah. There we go. It's Deshaun Watson, and we're slapping you with a bunch of crazy stuff because you can't leave Houston. Now,
there were steps. I was late. Sorry.
All right. I understand the need, and us as a group and as a network, technically, right, conglomeratively, have been rather hesitant, right, on how to say this to you. Yes, there is a need to be very careful about some of the things that are being said about Deshaun Watson because you never know, right, both sides and all this, right? But there is a need to look at the situation that is presented and realizes that sometimes there ain't no such thing as a coincidence. I mean, it's very interesting to find out that these things were surfacing from years before, and they only surface once he decides he wants to leave Houston, right? And I believe we were talking about before the show how the lawyer has a connection to the McNair family.
Close friendship.
Right? Close friendship at that. I mean, it's very interesting to see these sorts of things. And I don't know if you know this, right? But what happens if you go to jail with an NFL contract? Have we learned this from the Aaron Hernandez thing? They get the money back. So it's cheaper than cutting him, cheaper than trading him, and you get the money back and you don't lose that dead money.
And even if you don't go to jail or get convicted, the court of public opinion is going to ruin your next contract.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Most definitely.
Absolutely. And hell, the NFL might drum you out. Quite possibly.
True.
So as we continue to watch this as a sports nation, right? We continue to watch these events unfold that's going around Houston, let's call it the incessant mudslinging that continues to happen around the Texans and around Deshaun Watson, right? Let's continue to look at this with both eyes open. Make sure that you're, getting information for yourself before you just stand there and believe off certain things, right? Because there are a lot of things that go on exactly like this in other situations not occurring in sports. I mean, there's a lot
Black
of people
Lives Matter.
You know what? Bump it. I'll say it. There's a lot of black people who go down for crimes like these, and then
Amen.
they have to be set free later on after ruining most of their lives off DNA evidence or finding out that the woman lied, stuff like that. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's be sure to remember the fact that innocent until proven guilty, unless you're OJ, because you did that shit.
What?
Well,
my God.
There goes that interview.
Right? Well, I don't think that was going to happen. So the other interesting thing that's a hot topic that I meant to bring up.
Wait. You can't tell me he didn't do that shit. Come on, man. Like I was saying at the beginning of the show, he got off. He got off. And then went and wrote a book about I ain't do it, but if I did do it. If I did though. Exactly.
I'll say that's
loose.
I'll say that music, that's the sound of OJ walking up to your apartment door, JC.
Wow.
Tell him to come on. Tell him to come on. I don't like juice.
What's the first thing he gonna say when he walks? Oh, I wish I had that clip from Blazing Saddles. Because first thing he gonna say when he walks in your room is,
"Oh, hold on, I got you.
Oh Lord have mercy.
What are white women at?"
Exactly.
Y'all ain't right. But the other thing is,
well, they win another interview.
Seahawks are giving Tyler Lockett a $69.2 million extension. I know JC got to be happy about this.
Not necessarily. I mean, yeah, it's nice to see a weapon locked up, but
Somebody
a lot of things is, with a lot of what's going on in the offseason right now for Seattle, that's not your big problem right there. Your big problem is trying to make sure this disparaging gap that's going on between Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson does not get wider, and it certainly does not lead to Russell Wilson leaving. I mean, I understand that he's in the last year of his deal, but it was a monster contract, right? And regardless of whether he was worth the money or not, you knew as soon as you signed it. And I don't know if it was for all Seahawks fans or maybe it was just me, but you knew as soon as he signed that big behind deal, it just wasn't going to be the same.
Listen, if that gap gets any wider, it's going to look like one of the housewives of Atlanta.
Oh my goodness!
There goes that interview. Man.
We're just shooting ourselves in the foot tonight.
We're ruining our chances, huh?
Right?
Damn.
We're making enemies and stay-at-home moms right now.
Damn, man.
Oh, I wasn't including the stay-at-home moms. That's a lot of work. These women on the housewives, they ain't doing no work. They got cameras following them everywhere, people cleaning up after them.
Amen.
I'll just say it. I don't want to keep up with the Kardashians.
Exactly. Because you're gonna need more. You're gonna need more than a COVID vaccine. You mess with the Kardashians.
Wow.
Hey, Peeps, don't get no money. You know you just stay tight.
No, I'm not. That's all they did to Reggie Bush. That ain't.
Yeah, you is.
Nope.
Hey, hold up your hand. Hold up your hand like this.
Hold up my hand.
Hold up your hand like this.
Negative.
Hold up your hand like this. Come on. Indulge me. Come on. Hold up your hand like this.
No. Ooh. What's going on, folks?
I don't know what's going on with the system. My bad.
Oh, that was very weird. Oh,
hold
up your hand like this.
Nope.
Please.
On that note,
indulge
people,
me.
thank you so much for joining us tonight. If you have not already, make sure you follow us on all our social media platforms at Penalty Talk on Twitter, on Facebook, on YouTube. Also, make sure you shoot us an email at flagontheplaysports@gmail.com. And also
Forget
to
we're on
make sure you-
Spotify.
yes, at Penalty Talk. We are also on Instagram at Throw Flags. And JC, you got anything? I'm not putting up my hand.
Put your hand up.
Just put your hand up.
Put your
Come
hand
on,
up.
man.
Put my hand up.
Do it.
Put your hand
Don't
up.
do it for me. Do it for America.
Do it for the
For
gram.
America.
Do it for the gram.
Do it for
Do it
the-
for. This will make a great blooper reel. Come on, put your hand
Put
up.
your hand up.
Put my hands up for Christ. That's what I'll do.
All right, put your hands up for Christ, now flip them.
No.
Oh my God! That's your passport into a Kardashian. All right.
Oh, you get struck by lightning.
Oh,
You get struck by lightning. Y'all ain't right. Look,
y'all, I didn't say a word.
you laughed at it.
Oh, it was funny.
Yep.
It was funny.
Oh,
Yeah.
Your
man.
passport into a Kardashian, man. All right, now.
Wow. Wow.
I'm gonna look up there. I want to see that TikTok Prashawn posted again. That's what I want to see.
Oh my. Well, listen, thanks for joining us on this wonderful show. Like you said, don't forget to follow. Don't forget to follow
my God!
all our social media. If you need
Y'all got to see when you see Josh picking this big woman up, and she did a twirl. Y'all got to see it. Oh, JC. That's why when we came on, he talking about my back is killing me. Of course it was.
You need to stop. You need to stop. Don't be telling people that was me. Listen, if you need to talk to us, don't forget to email
And I'ma
us
set you down.
at
And I'ma set you down.
@gmail.com.
Yeah.
All right. I'm
Y'all stay
JC.
blessed. I'm
He's
JP. Y'all
JPeeps.
stay blessed.
Deuces, y'all. Deuces.
Ooh.
What's going on, folks?
Oh, what's up? Sorry for the bit of lateness. There's been some technical difficulties, but we are beyond that now.
Yes, sir.
I'm JC.
I'm JPeeps. Welcome
And
to
we've
another
got
episode of Running the Podcast.
Wonderful episode for you today. Lots of
An
stuff to talk
amazing
about.
episode.
An amazing episode. Lots of stuff to talk about in the NFL.